Hey, what's happening, gamers? Sorry for the late start. This was a pretty long intro today. So, just tell you what's going on, give you guys, full transparency. So, late last night, I spoke with Level 5 Japan, and we got things in motion to take care of the copyright strike. And then about, I'd say, 25 minutes ago, I spoke with Level 5's legal department here in the United States. And we got the everything squared away. There'll be no copyright strike. And, I guess we had a nice little email back and forth, but I'm pretty much done covering Level 5. That was way too much work. That was very scary because we would have gotten a copyright strike tomorrow. If the strike had occurred, the channel would no longer be able to live stream for 2 months. So I'm sorry that the music ran for almost 2 hours, but I had a very big thing to deal with that took absolute priority. So, everything is done now. Our business with Level 5 is done. There'll be no copyright strikes. And it was pretty intense. So, but yeah, everything's done. Okay, so let's enjoy Mario Kart. We're going to play, I guess it's the cow today, or maybe I'll just keep the cow on the thumbnail. Maybe I'll do one level as the cow. How's that? I'll do one level as the cow. All you need to know is I'm incredibly stressed, and if you guys want to cheer me up, I could use some super chats, because I went through a pretty big ordeal over the past, 12 hours. So, you never like talking to any video game company's legal department, especially for something as small as a copyright thing. So that was, and I'm still mad at a couple people who knew about the embargo, both content creators and fans that knew about the embargo and never told me. And because I was able to prove negligence and complete arrogance, or not arrogance, ignorance, everything worked out fine because they asked me, did you see the stuff on the website? I said never went to the website. They said, did you see stuff on the Twitter? I said never went to your Twitter. So I said I had people in my chat who were encouraging me to do it, and the guy's like, okay. And that was it. So I basically won. I was completely honest, and I'm a little miffed at my content creator friends, and I blame some of them. But at the same point, I'm moving on. Everything's fine. I'm very business savvy. My New York personality came out, dealt with this very professionally, and nipped it in the bud, and we're good to go. Okay? All right. So anyway, let's get to this. Don't mess with New York. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So let's start with the cow. Moo. Yeah, we could do bulldozer. That's fine. We'll do bulldozer. So if I sound a little New York, again, I was, in the middle of stuff, and it comes and goes. That's all you need to know. It comes and goes. Leaf cup. Alright, let's do it. Cow time. After this race, I'll set up the super chat goal, because maybe it's possible we could get a little support today. That would brighten up my day. But yeah, I took care of everything, because that's how Kwing rolls. So, I'm sorry you guys had to wait, though. I don't usually have the music run for an hour and 36 minutes. About 50 minutes usually is how long the music, on average, can run. But I was busy putting out fires and making sure everything's squared away, because I don't want to have to deal with this again. Okay? Alright. Good to go. Da 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 da. I am a giant cow. Bum, 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 bum. I had a very humbling experience last night dealing with Fast Fusion, though. I will say, Fast Fusion is a game you shouldn't sleep on, but at the same time, the game is incredibly difficult. It is probably one of the hardest racing games I've played since NASCAR on PlayStation, going back 30 years ago. And Extreme G on GameCube, I think Extreme G2. And a few of the Wipeout games were very difficult, but even over the past 15 years, there's been some pretty difficult racing games, as well as there was that one unplayable racing game that was an indie game that I couldn't do. But other than that, you know, excuse me, terrible. Not hairball, rather, sometimes if you have cats, like cat dander can float in the air, so I just had a hair materialize in my throat. I had to get that out. That's the joys of living with cats. Also, Zelda came up and licked me in the face, so she probably put the hair in my, you know, in my area. Now, the cow doesn't have any costumes, right? It's just a cow. The cow shouldn't be in here. There should be Diddy Kong. There should be somebody of significance, not Moo Moo Cow from Moo Moo Farm. It's not supposed to be a thing. At least I don't think so. Yeah, Fantasy Life. Nobody should ask me to cover Fantasy Life again. That was a lot of work to protect our channel. So, yeah. I don't even think if anybody became an Ultimate, I would risk, like, just the principles of it. I will say that Level 5's department in Japan is very cordial. The legal department used a lot of legal words, and since I've dealt with legal stuff before with other companies, I knew how to speak with them, because I've had to speak with the Federal Trade Commission before, so, you know, it was a lot easier talking to Level 5's, like, legal department than it was discussing things with the FTC in 2019, but, you know, I'm a lot smarter than people give me credit for, so I took care of it, and, you know, it is what it is. It's a shame that we lost revenue, but Spicy Pepper gave us a $50 donation to make up for the loss of Fantasy Life, and then Ruga put us back in place, back on track, and gave us $100 last night. Granddaddy gave us 20, and a few other people gave us small super chats last night during Fast Fusion, so the channel is no longer, like, behind what it was. It's not ahead, but it's stable. But we lost stuff with Fantasy Life. Thank you very much. Our channel is a gem. Thank you, Genesis. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Thanks for the super chat, man. And I'm glad you've been watching us for 10 plus years. That's really cool. What was the series that got you to subscribe to Kwings Let's Plays all those years ago? I can't remember what happened 2 years ago, so 10 years ago is kind of a blur for me. It hasn't been 10 years since the Switch, so I'm assuming it has to do with either maybe Wii U, 3DS, or maybe PS3. Would be right around the 10-year frame, I think. Well, I can tell you this, Miss Deanna. They didn't want to... Like I said, they wanted to make example of people. I had to prove that I didn't know about the website, I didn't know about anything. And I did. Like, because I didn't know about the website. I was never told. None of my youth... I'm kind of glad that my friends, you know, kind of, like, didn't tell me anything. Because, like, I didn't have... You know, I was completely honest. I had no idea about the embargo. Nobody told me anything. So because of my ignorance, basically, they know that I didn't do it purposely. I didn't do it to break embargo, because for me, there was no embargo, because I had no information to that. It wasn't a fool around and find out method like some YouTubers said to me. I had no idea whatsoever. And those YouTubers failed to tell me that there was even an embargo, so they could be in trouble. I'm just saying. But I didn't throw them under the bus like they threw me under the bus. They were like, did you discuss anything with anybody? I said, nope. I was just doing my series. Because that's what friendship is. You know, you protect your friends. You don't, like, throw your friends under the bus for clout with game developers. I'm just saying. So you're welcome. But anyway, I got away because I had no idea. And I can still claim, like, no idea about the embargo because nobody told me anything during my entire coverage. So, again, still mad at the viewers because I would have immediately stopped Chapter 7 and I would have erased the boss fight when I had the ability. I didn't have the ability to trim out the boss fight. But if I was as nice as those YouTubers, I should have said, yeah, this YouTuber didn't even tell me about it and they knew about it. But nope, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Because I'm a much nicer person. I was talking to these YouTubers at Text who were covering your game extensively who knew. Yeah, but no, I didn't do that. Yep. So I'm a little salty, but whatever, I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't know. I've never broken an embargo, ever. So that was new for me, but I didn't even know one existed. So let me explain this in my position, okay? So Level 5 did tweet about an embargo for streamers. They made the post on May 10th. If you were to go to their Twitter feed, which I did, there was no pinned tweet. There was no mention whatsoever of an embargo. It was encouraging content creators to cover their game, and they were giving away codes for people to put in-game. There was no pinned information about any legal stuff whatsoever, any embargoes. So that's negligence on the community manager for Level 5, and I think they need to be reprimanded, personally. Nothing's going to happen to them, but I'm just saying, they completely neglected. There was no quote tweets, there was no retweets. They made one post that is quote-unquote was made public on May 10th. But if you were covering the game at the end of May or in June, and you were scrolling through their Twitter, you're not going to find that information. They do have information on their website, mind you, but again, you have to know exactly where it is. If you're casually going to the website, you're not going to see it. So I used all these points to my advantage, basically. And they're like, yeah, we get that. So I said, we done here? They said, yep. So no copyright strike. But I'm allowed to be mad at people, and I'm allowed at people trying to character assassinate me on Twitter, calling me rage baiting and, that I'm spreading fear and all this other stuff. So I don't appreciate that type of, very, very rude rhetoric.
Just for the sake of, the fact that we have to work with people online and we have to be civil, if I ever had a personal friend publicly accuse me of rage baiting, our friendship would be over at that point. Like, why would you publicly accuse somebody of something?
For me, that's small potatoes, but it is rude. Like,
for me, I would never speak to them again.
I know, because you're stricter than I am.
I would be like, don't ever talk to me. Ever. Don't call me, don't speak to me, don't.
Bump, 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 bump. But yeah, that's how my day went over the past, whatever. So, I was in the middle of dishes. Japan contacted me, because remember, Japan is in a different time frame. So when it's 5 in the morning where I am, it's, I believe it's afternoon where Japan is. It's like right around near the end of their business day, or like, I think it's close to around 5 p.m. at night or 4 p.m. at night. I don't remember. I forget how many hours ahead they are. I think they're like 16 hours ahead. I don't remember. So Japan contacted me first. And then the other department contacted me like around, it was like 3:45. And then it was resolved by 4 or something. Much shorter conversation than with the FTC. The FTC was much longer back in 2019. That was almost an all-day phone call. But I did remind, because I told them I'm done covering. Like, I had no qualms of being like, all right, you took care of the copyright strike. I just want you to know that I'm never covering you again. So, like, I was adamant about that. I said, you know, if it gets to be a problem, I'm going to tell my content creator friends never to cover you again either, because you've done this stuff before. So, like, you know, because I want them to know that they're going to lose something. They're going to lose a big channel covering their game. So I wanted them to know. And I was like, you know. So, yep, I'm not also, not only am I not covering it, but I won't go on people's channel and play the game with them either. Like, I'm 100% done with the game. Like, when I say I'm done with something, I'm done with something. I'm a man of my word. Yep. Whoop. Da 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 da. Whoa. I've never been here. I don't know what this level is. Uh-oh. I didn't even see the blue shell. Blue shell came out of nowhere. Thank you, Misty, and I appreciate that. I mean, I personally don't like working with companies that have, like, really nasty stipulations anyway. Because it's too much of a hassle. Like, I have ADD and stuff. When companies make so many rules and regulations, eventually, like, there's a small possibility that I might mess up because I'm covering so many different games, right? It's hard for me to remember what happened 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, let alone, you know, keep track of all these different things. Because I go through the games very quick. I go through the games faster than most YouTubers. It's about a week of coverage, usually, week and a half, unless I'm trying to milk something. If I'm just trying to go through the story, I get through said game in about, like, no more than 10 or 15 episodes. Unless it's an RPG, and then I try to do it in 30 episodes. You know? RPGs are very, very long. Action games, racing games, shouldn't be more than, like, 10 episodes, right? Usually. So I try to get through that stuff as quickly as I can. So it's very easy for me to be like, okay, I completely forgot not to show this boss, or, you know, not to show this specific character, not to show this cutscene. Because there are companies that have, like, they're very transparent. Level 5 is not transparent. Level 5 did the bare minimum, which is they made a post on May 10th. Legally, you know, they can say, yes, it was public knowledge. Yes, it was. Buried on their feed. Yes, I would say that is public knowledge. The people who saw it on May 10th were definitely given heads up. And the people who went to their website that knew exactly where to look, which is not on their front page, by the way, yes, those people were in the know. But everybody else who's covering their game has no idea. Because even right now, after several content creators, not just me, were impacted by this, and some of them have only privated their video. You actually need to erase the video. So those of you that had to pull your Chapter 7, if you have it privated, you could still get a copyright strike. It is a remover request. It is not a privating request. If there is a countdown telling you that you're going to get a copyright strike on your channel, you need to remove the video permanently. You cannot have it privated. You cannot have it unlisted. If it is on your YouTube channel and you have that countdown, regardless of how big your subs are, Level 5 wants you to delete it immediately. And they're actually being very cordial about it for now. They could probably get very nasty the day before the number is up, but, you know, I took care of mine and deleted it and still had to run around with Level 5 for a day, like, as soon as the business day happened. Like, I think it was today or something like that. I emailed them. It took them 2 to 3 business days to get a hold of me, because I emailed them exactly on Friday. So that means they got back to me early this morning at like 5 in the morning, which would be sometime in Japan today. And then the American level 5 company got to me today around like 3:30. So it takes days for them to get a hold of you. And here's the crazy thing. YouTube still hasn't talked to me about it. Our new partner manager hasn't said anything, and he got the notice in his dashboard that we had a pending copyright strike. Our previous partner manager would have been on the phone with me Friday night, because he would have gotten the alert in his CMS. So the fact that this new guy, who I don't really know that well, hasn't even emailed me and told me, hey, I heard about this situation with a copyright strike. Let's get this resolved. Not one email, not one text. And these people have my phone number. I took care of it. I did everything. Again, I handle most of my copyright, problems. Always. You can't rely on YouTube. You can't rely on Google because they're incompetent.
Well, they had a time to tell us about a YouTuber party in California, though.
Yeah, they had time to tell me about a big YouTuber party that Amber and I were invited to in the summer for some type of YouTuber's going to film, some type of event and needs participants. And I'm like, are you providing travel for that? And they're like, oh, no, but it's good exposure. It's like, okay, where would we stay? They're like, well, you would pay for a hotel. It would be for a month. It was like, ha, 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 no.
Wow.
I don't care how big this YouTuber is. I'm not flying to California, staying a month, having my channel, go to hell in a handbasket so that I can be on some YouTuber's basically Squid Games thing. No, thank you. I'm sure.
Falling over from dehydration. She has a whole video on it where she said she was appalled by how people were treated, and that girls were getting hit in the head and stuff by boys running past them and stuff like that.
I would much rather have somebody like Asmongold make fun of my bad gameplay and get viewers to come watch me that way. That would be much easier. For me to make fun of Asmongold and his roaches, and it ends up getting clipped by his person, and then they come here and they watch my content, and then they become converted as fans and like my brand of comedy, because my brand of comedy is from the 90s. That would be fine with me. But no, flying all the way to California, being a part of some massive YouTuber collab, so I may get hey, this person's Kwingsletsplays, and we're going to eliminate them in the first episode or something. No thanks. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, not doing that. Because our channel will die.
Those things aren't real anyway. They already exposed. I gotta go, but those things are rigged anyway. They've already exposed them. They always have figured out who they're gonna give the cash prize money to before the thing even starts. And it's usually an employee of the company. And they're one of the employees of the YouTuber putting it on. And they usually give them that money, but then that's in addition for them promoting their channel and all this stuff. So it's literally cash prize money to literally it's basically a payment.
Yep. Okay. All right. No, it is not fair use. So let me explain briefly. I will tickle your ears with the truth. If there is an embargo and a content creator does not know about it, you can speak with the company and get it resolved because you had no idea about an embargo. They didn't send you an embargo as a content creator, and the embargo was posted, but it was buried under a social media feed, and it was hidden on a website. So there were content creators besides myself that were completely unaware of an embargo. But if a company does a timed deletion of a video and expects you to delete it, not private it, not hide it, delete it, you have to comply. Because if you do not, they have requested YouTube give you a copyright strike. YouTube is the one that gives you the copyright strike. It's an automated thing. So what we had to do today is we needed to we confirmed with Level 5 Japan, we confirmed with Level 5 America, their legal company, Level 5 corporate, whatever. And in their system, they put video was deleted, retracting claim, and then YouTube, based on the fact that I deleted the video and they retracted the claim, there will be no copyright strike against us. There shouldn't be. If there is, I will seek legal action against Level 5. But, you know, you can't... The reason why I could seek legal action after them, by the way, is because they promised me in confidence that our channel would not... And I have it in writing. I have it in writing saying that they will not copyright our channel and take any legal action against us. So if they copyright strike me anyway, I will take them to court. I will sue them. I'm saying if that happens. But, you know, because they would have basically lied to me and said, hey, you know, we took care of this and you have peace of mind now, you don't need to worry about this. So if they were petty and they went through with it anyway, then I would sue them. And I would win. Because they would have broken the law. You can't tell somebody in confidence that you're not going to seek legal action against them, and then you seek legal action against them after everything's resolved. That's a crime in the United States of America. So, I'm just saying, I'm not one of those YouTubers that lets things go. So if they do something illegal toward me, you know, and I can use the national attention, so even if I lose the case, I would definitely have people talking about me all over the internet. Crazy YouTuber sues Level 5. So, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as of right now, because I took time out of my day, it says everything is resolved, right? But I haven't heard back from YouTube yet, and I'm not going to hear back from YouTube. I have a thing from Level 5 saying that it's all taken care of, in writing. And if something happens, the first thing I'm doing is I'm humiliating Level 5, and because I won't have access to my YouTube channel. I'll have to go to Twitch or I'll have to do something else. But I will post the email with their email address so people can bother them. 2, I will show the email of them confirming with me that they were not seeking any action against me and removing the copyright strike. So if the copyright strike still occurs, like, I'm literally posting all that stuff. And then I'm talking to every drama channel known to man to get, like, you know, people talking about Level 5 shady practices. If it happens. If it doesn't happen, then, you know, but I have a backup. I have a contingency. I'm not just going to let it go if something happens against me. I'm going to make as much noise as possible. If people thought I was angry in those tweets before, you haven't seen anything yet if something actually happens. You haven't seen nothing yet. That's tame in comparison to what I have planned if things go sour. But, you know, I'm trying to trust this company, so we'll see what happens, right? You don't screw with Kwing, I'll say that. I don't play around. I have a lot at stake, and I'm going to defend my my position. Capiche? And again, that's just a contingency. It's not like I'm deliberately planning on something. It's just a contingency plan in case things go south. I have everything screenshotted. I got my receipts, and, you know, if the copyright strike still happens on Thursday, then you know who I'm going after. I'm also going to throw the YouTubers under the bus that knew about it, so I'll name them by name in my post. Gonna go full scorched earth. So, I have a contingency plan in the ready in case things go sour, because I'm not going down alone. Nope. You haven't seen crazy. I was civil. I was civil and polite. I got a copyright strike. You can kiss all that goodbye. Because I own nothing to anybody. Zip. But, you know, in the back of my head, I'm thinking that it's going to go sour, but I'm hoping it goes correct because, I took the time out of my day. I got it taken care of this morning. I got it taken care of this afternoon, so everything should be good. I'm just waiting for my YouTube partner manager to get off his lazy butt and be like, yeah, it's all taken care of. But yep, but I got the fact that these so-called friends of mine, like, have no qualms of trying to blast me on Twitter. Like, I'm not going to shield them from my wrath. They'll be named. Everybody will be named. Everybody responsible. Because, again, I had no idea, and people knew, and they didn't tell me. So, I mean, that's negligence on their part. It is. It's 100% negligence. Because it wasn't just one conversation. It was a couple conversations by text. As well as I went to their YouTube channels, and they were playing the game. And they had opportunity to tell me, and they didn't. So, it's not fool around and find out. You'll find out what my wrath is like, Mr. YouTubers, if I actually get that copyright strike, because I am not holding back. I have no reason to. I'll have nothing to do for 2 months. Kwing goes nuke. If it happens. If the copyright strike still occurs. You have to remember, I'm a pessimist. I'm a New Yorker, so I don't trust anybody. I'm counting down the days to see if this happens or not, even though I have everything in writing. So I'll go after their legal department. I'll go after Level 5's reputation. I'll go after the YouTubers. It's gonna be a massacre. Because I'll have nothing left to lose at that point. Because I'm gonna lose income for 2 to 3 months anyway. So why would I care about someone else's channel or somebody else's livelihood? I wouldn't. Don't mess with New York. That's all I'll say. Because I don't screw around. The only person I have to protect in this world is my wife, and I'm going to do everything I can to earn a living. So, that's all you need to know about me. I'm going down, you're going down with me. Whoop. I'll go on podcast, I'll do whatever I have to do. But like I said, one thing you have to understand that Kwing does not like, I don't like my time wasted. So there were I could have started my stream a long time ago, but I was busy dealing with stuff. You understand? So I don't like not making money. I don't like having my time wasted. Yeah, that's about it. Those are the only things that are my pet peeves. Not making money, having my time wasted. Do 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 do. Oh, that's a cool looking track. This reminds me of Mario Kart Tour a little bit. People are asking me, like, what's the worst experience you've ever had with a game developer? Arc System Works. The worst thing I've ever had with a game developer was Arc System Works. Dealing with Arc System Works was a nightmare. To the point where we did Guilty Gear on Twitch a long time ago. It was on the Wii, I believe. And they had me erase my entire archive stream or whatever it was on Twitch because I went through the entire game. And they were threatening legal action. And they were really nasty about it. They weren't cordial at all. They made demands, and they were just nasty. The only times that I like covering Arc System Works games is if, like, Namco or another company is representing them. Case in point, we never had any problems with Dragon Ball FighterZ because even though the game was made and developed by Arc System Works, the publisher was Namco. Ni no Kuni, the same thing. Or sorry, no, that's level 5. But you have to be very careful with these companies, you know. And apparently, like, if anybody ever covers level 5 again, I would strongly recommend that you comb over their entire website and comb over their entire Twitter to see if they have any type of stipulation involved, because they do not hesitate to go after people. I don't know how many people were in our position. I know it's a few people that are in trouble. But I don't, you know, they're obviously not going to give me the names, but when I asked the people, I was like, hey, so am I the only one who messed up? And they're like, oh no, there's been other people. You're the only one who deleted the video immediately. And it's like, well, yeah, I don't want to, you know, it's my livelihood. Why would I risk that? I said, it's not worth it. You guys aren't worth it. But there's still people that are waiting to see what happens, and it's like, I would erase the video. You can't private that. You have to erase it. Because the countdown is still going. If you were given the countdown notice on Friday, you have until Thursday at, like, I think it was 5 in the morning or something like that. And then after that, it's a copyright strike. Once a copyright strike occurs, you cannot live stream for up to, I think it's 90 days or 60 days. It used to be only, like, 2 weeks, but now I believe it's up to 90 days. You also can't post videos either. No videos, no shorts, no nothing. You're completely locked out of your channel for like 60 to 90 days. For a channel in our position, that's a death sentence. The channel will never recover. So, I had to do whatever I could, you know. Some of the worst advice I've gotten from YouTubers is private the video. It's like, no, this is a legal order. It's like, I don't think you understand. This is I think I posted their email by mistake. That's their legal department. If it says level 5 corporate, that's their legal group, I believe. Yeah, but Arc System Works is a nightmare. If you ever cover Arc System Works games, you can only show versus matches. Like, do not ever show any cutscenes. Or story mode. Even though their story mode is lame with, like, you know, text and stuff. We did a full series of Blaze Blue. Because Blaze Blue is also Arc System Works. I did the story. That stream had to be taken down. Like, I'm pretty sure. And again, it was a really stupid story. It was just text and stuff. But they've never gone after any of the versus stuff. But I was terrified of covering Dragon Ball FighterZ when I saw that Arc System Works were the people that made it. And, you know, if Arc System Works doesn't have a partner for the Marvel game and they have a really cool story mode, I would not show that story mode on the internet. Like, because Arc is the one that's making it, they do not like it when content creators show their story modes. So with the new Marvel game, even though it's awesome that Arc System Works is basically making, like, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom, you know, by the Arc System Works guys, if they have a robust storyline with, like, amazing cutscenes and stuff like that, and they are the publisher and the developer of the game, you cannot show the cutscenes. You will get a copyright strike, or they will erase your video immediately. They are not going to play games with you. So you have to hope to God that whoever the partner is for the Marvel game coming out next year, that they'll have the publishing rights of the game. Whoever has the publishing rights of the game makes the rules. It's true. So if Arc is the one doing, not only developing, but they're also publishing that Marvel game, and you show the cutscenes when Arc System Works is adamant about, like, not being able to do that, you're hosed. They won't even give you a week. They'll give you 48 hours to comply. And most YouTubers don't check their YouTube channel for almost a week. So they would be hosed. So you better hope and pray that there is a publisher for that Marvel game. Because the only thing you'll see from us, if there isn't, is just the versus. Online matches, matches against Amber, that kind of stuff. Because I ain't risking Arc. Arc is a very, very annoying company. They are. It's true. And they've always been like that. I had the discussion with people a while ago. The reason why we were able to look at Ni no Kuni 2, even though it was made by Level 5, the publisher of that was Namco. So all PR, all embargoes, everything was dealt by Namco. Same thing with Dragon Ball FighterZ. So, and Namco's a great company. It's just the problem with Arc System Works and Level 5 is Level 5, they are steep in the Japanese business world because, you know, they are Japanese developers. And as I've told you before, Japanese developers do not like YouTubers. They do not like streamers. They don't like people profiting off of their work. It's very offensive to them. So they don't really like they've never liked YouTubers going on for 15 years now. They've never have. I have a friend that had a Guilty Gear channel, and all he did was make Guilty Gear content. Even he knew he could never post, like, the story coverage. So he just did, like, fighting tutorials and combo videos, versus matches, online matches. He did character lore without showing any, like, story pictures. I think he used, like, art that was made on DeviantArt or something. He still made his entire channel dedicated to Guilty Gear, but he was very careful about what he showed from Guilty Gear. You know what I mean? Same thing with BlazBlue. So you just have to be careful. You can cover any creator or any company's game, but you have to know the rules. Whoa! Well, yeah, that's why Japan's like it. In America and the Western countries, okay? Game publishers, they basically, like, they understand that YouTubers and streamers and influencers are the future of marketing. They don't contract you to pay. Like, they don't, like, usually they don't call you and be like, hey, we need you to advertise our game. We're going to give you a few grand or something like that. They don't tend to do that very much. What they do is they give you a code of the game, so the YouTuber doesn't pay for it, and whatever the YouTube profits on, you know, that's what they make. So they get early access, they get all this other stuff, and sometimes the companies will retweet your videos, and, you know, they'll promote you that way, and that's how the YouTuber gets noticed by stuff, right? But at the same time, over in Japan, they don't like it when you're earning ad revenue because that's their work. They made that. You didn't work on that game. You're just somebody who's playing their game. And even though in America it's known as a transformative work, in Japan they don't have laws like that. They don't have fair use, for instance. So, you know, they don't like streamers. They never will. Is it an archaic way of thinking? Yeah, kind of, sort of. You know, it's very old school, like dinosaurs walk the earth, but that's just how Japan is. If you are a Japan content creator, then usually you would work with somebody outside of Japan in order to be, you know, in a group of other content creators and get brand deals and YouTube partnerships and stuff like that. There is YouTube in Japan, but it's run differently than YouTube in America. It's just how it is, you know. And there are some companies in Japan that are becoming a little bit more lax with things, where they're not, like, adamantly trying to destroy YouTubers and things like that. It's a process that'll probably take another 10, 15 years, and then Japan won't care anymore. But right now, you have people who are my age and in their 30s over in Japan who are developers who still don't like YouTubers because they get very defensive of their work, as well as they don't want someone to profit off of what they do. It's insulting to them because it's part of their culture. That's all. Whereas in America, like I've said, America, Canada, France, Hong Kong, these places understand the significance and importance of YouTubers as a new form of media, and they like YouTubers and all these other people more than, you know, ancient, like, publications, like dinosaur publications. They see a lot of YouTubers as the future of game press, basically. So of course they want to work with you because they don't want to be left behind with new technology. So that's why a lot of them have created content creator programs over the past, I'd say, probably 10 years. Most game studios have a content creator program, whether it's Capcom US, Namco US, Konami, let's see, Gameloft, Nintendo, all these people. You know, they all have agencies in America that focuses on community management with YouTubers. That's what they do. Or they call it influencers, because then they can work with people on Instagram, people on TikTok. It's not just YouTubers. The influencer thing goes for almost every type of media. Wherever you post, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, Rumble, all that stuff. These people oversee that stuff, right? But Japan has nothing like that, as far as I know. And I know content creators in Japan, and they're still with agencies that are in the U.S. So I'm not saying that there aren't agencies in Japan that might be popping up soon, but most of these people I knew that moved from Canada and have been in Japan for like 6 years or so, they're still working for a Canadian agency through their YouTube channel and through other things, through their influencer stuff. So there may be like some agencies in Japan that exist now, but most of these content creators that live in Japan, and there's about 100 of them, they're still working with U.S. agencies and Canadian agencies and stuff like that for their brand deals and all this other stuff. So I know, boring conversation, but I always find this stuff fascinating. So dun 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 dun. Da 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 da. Bum 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 bum. Go boo! Oh no, wait. Did I lap somebody or did somebody lap me? I can't even tell. Whoa. Bum 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 bum. Yep, so basically, just so you guys know, in the back of my head there's a countdown. So I'm waiting to see what happens, because I don't trust people. And I do have a contingency plan if I have to use it, but I'm hoping I don't have to. I'm hoping everything's fine, because I need to be able to work. I don't want to be famous. I don't care about any of that. I just want a steady paycheck. That's all a New Yorker cares about, is making money. The reason why I get along with so many content creators is because I appreciate their grind to make money. That's it. Like, I respect their, you know, what they're doing to earn a profit or whatever. Because I think that's what makes all of us relatable, is the fact that we're all in this grind together, you know? But if I can't do my job, then yeah, I'm going to become very grumpy. You don't like me when I'm grumpy. Yeah. Just like the activists that went after me, I hunted them. Like, they tried to go after me, they tried to dox me, I went after them, found out where they lived, where they worked, you know, what town they lived in. So if they tried to commit, like, some type of crime against me, I'd be able to know exactly where they are, where to find them, all that stuff. I went undercover with fake aliases and joined their groups to keep an eye on them for years. People that I thought were associated with DDoSing us, as well as the swatting attempt. So I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scene for quite a while, because I don't mess around. I can't trust anybody but myself. So, you know, I make it my business to know. Unfortunately, in terms of those activists, I haven't found the smoking gun yet. I've seen people joke about it, but nobody has been tied to the incident yet. Something happened to me. How? What do you mean? Most of these people are soy boys. What am I worried about? Like, they can't hurt me. All they can hurt me with is words. I know exactly where to find each and every one of them. The only people that would be in danger would be them, if I came for them. Well, like I said, it's been years, nothing's happened yet. And whatever information I get, I forward to the police. You know, I have tons of conversations on Discords, on Twitter DMs, of my fake people interacting with people of interest. No smoking gun yet. Nothing. Super annoying. Yeah, you have to understand, the people attacking us, like, these are the kind of people that say they stick up for minorities and stuff, but when it comes to them, like, being robbed by one, or, like, all this other stuff, they're quick to throw them under the bus because they're, you know, they say they're standing up for this and that, but when it comes to actually supplying them money, or, you know, doing all this other stuff, they call the police, or they say, no, you can't rob me because I need this to help people. By you robbing me, you're actually hurting other minorities. Stuff like that, you know, white savior complexes. Like, so these people don't really care about this stuff. They just act a certain way. Like, these allies and all these other people, they're frauds, they're fakes. So these are the people that we're dealing with, is people that they talk tough online, but in real world, they would crumble. Like, they would fall like a house of cards. That's why you call them hypocrites? Yeah, I mean, basically. Yeah. The only thing I'm mad about is I've been doing this whole undercover thing for years, and I still haven't caught anybody. There was one potential suspect, and they went offline 2 years ago, and somebody said they might have, like, self-deleted. So I'm very angry. Because everything else has just been... These activists, they move on to attacking other people. So, like, nobody... Other than that one thing that happened, it was like 3 months ago or something, there hasn't been anything. I was surprised this year that they didn't attack our anniversary, because usually they attack our anniversary. Got DDoSed a little bit, but, you know... And the funny thing is, these people have no idea that, you know, so-and-so with a with a flag in their group is actually me. Because they all have flags, they all have pronouns in the bio. So finding me is going to be very difficult. As well as my accounts are very old, they're not, like, things that were just, like, created a while ago. I've had them for a very long time. But my surveillance hasn't proved anything yet. So it's just people repeating, like, the abuse allegations, which is fake, and nothing concrete that actually has to do with any computer code, any specific dates, nothing I can use. And I'm very frustrated. Because it's basically, it's been like a failed, like, 2-year investigation, basically. I haven't come up with anything substantial that I can use to actually arrest somebody. It sucks. Yeah, people have to know, I do, like, if I deem you an enemy, I hunt you. I find out everything there is about you because you know everything about me. Fair is fair. If I have to worry about you stalking me, you have to worry about me being around every corner of your life. Everywhere you shop, everywhere you go, every group you hang out with, if you attend AAA, if you're in therapy, if you're having financial difficulties. You know, a lot of these people are dumb, though. They share on the internet all the time about what's going on. They create GoFundMes. They say where they're in therapy. They post pictures of themselves in front of signs in California, which makes it very easy to pinpoint what town they're in or where they work. A lot of these people are very stupid. The internet is not your friend. Everything that you say, everything that you do can be used against you and people can find you. So it's not like that I personally went after these people. Like, they made it very easy to find them on their Instagram. Some of them used their real name on their Instagram. It was a very easy yellow book lookup. You know? But I will find the people who swatted me. It might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but I will find you. And when I do, I'm going to repay you in kind. Because that's how we do things. That's how police officers' families work. Because you could have hurt my wife, and that ain't gonna fly with me. I believe in an eye for an eye, so... I don't believe in turning the other cheek. I believe in vengeance and payback. So you do not want to screw with me. Because I have nothing better to do, personally. And just so we're clear, I'd get these people arrested. I'm not gonna, like, go all vigilante and beat them in an alley. I'm gonna get them arrested. Because I will basically... I will get them to throw a punch at me, and then I'm gonna throw an assault charge at them. I'm gonna get them arrested. Because these people are so, like, high-strung that, like, they will easily, you know... If you just confront them or you get in their space, they're the type of people that is going to follow you, and they're going to try to use violence against you. And as soon as they take a swing at me, I'll let them hit me once, and then I'm going to floor them, and then I'm going to press charges on them. Like, I'll let them get one hit on me to prove assault, and then I'm going to kick their butt. Because if I can prove that they actually hit me, then I have a case against them. And these people are very volatile, so it's not hard to, like, you know, set them off. Be very easy, barely an inconvenience. They're lucky they live in California, though, because I'm not going to go all the way to California. Unless I have to. Isn't it crazy how most of the people who are activists against me are in the West Coast? It just furthers my stereotype of the West Coast. Like, you don't help yourselves. Very few of them are in the East Coast. And very few of them actually have jobs. Like, most of them work fast food. Most of them work, like, minimum wage. You know? They just act a certain way online. They don't want people to know where they are in real life. It's kind of funny. They're allowed to harass me at my job, but if I harass them at their job, then it's going too far. It's like, how is it going too far? It's the same thing. It's like, if you can't stand the heat, don't be in the kitchen. You know what I mean? I can see why you call them hypocrites, because they're all soys. They're all weak. And they're just hiding behind a keyboard, basically. Oh. Amber's at work. If people actually would have renewed their memberships on the Discord, we've got 290 people on the Discord, only about 70 are members. If we would have had people paying for their access to our Discord for 3 years, Amber wouldn't have had to get a job. Because we're losing, just from the Discord alone, I crunched the numbers. Based on the 290 people there and the 75 people that are there, the Kwings are losing about $970 a month from people that are supposed to be renewing their service and are not. So we could have used that $900 a month extra to pay for back bills, to pay for food, pay for, like, in case of an emergency, like if there's a flat tire on the car, to keep the bank account stable, all this stuff. So we've had, for 3 years, people... all the members on there, only 75 actually really care enough to renew. And then there's like, out of the 200 and, I think, 55 paying, like, members, not gifted, not everybody likes using the Discord because they don't like the people on the Discord. Because there are people there who are, you know, we thought if we make a paid-for Discord, then people will, like, behave. Right? Because if you pay for something, usually people tend to behave, right? If it's a free service, people tend to wall out a little bit. That's why YouTubers charge for their Discord, is because most people aren't going to spend money to act like crazy people. You know, it's just not something you do. So, that's what our hope was. But not everybody, you know, paid for the Discord. Like the monthly service, so that put us in jeopardy, basically. So Amber was like, I'm not waiting around for people to become members anymore and for people to randomly super chat, because, you know, I have the ability to work, so Amber's gonna, you know, she has an interview tomorrow, so everybody can pray for her interview. She used me as a disability card, which is fine. She told the people that, you know, I'm disabled, which I am. And that she helps her husband's home business, which she does. And, I mean, it's our business, but yeah, I do run it. So, I told her to basically throw me under the bus so you get the job. And I said, if you do that, you know, you can play on these people's sympathies and you'll probably get hired. Because, like, most people love sob stories when it comes to getting work in the private sector. Especially, they love humanitarian things. What Amber's doing is very selfless. She's helping someone who is, you know, disabled, as somebody who can't work outside the home. She's sacrificed a good portion of her life to do that, and now she wants to get off YouTube and go to work. You know, and she doesn't have a lot of experience because she's been helping me for 15 years. So. Let's try Baby Peach. People go to college to act crazy. Yeah, that's true. No luck, little one?
No luck with what?
I don't know why you're... Oh, okay, you were doing that thing. Okay, baby. Okay, well, I misunderstood. So Amber's home doing stuff. She's preparing for my parents who are visiting at the... When are they coming? My parents are coming on Monday. Okay. You look like you've just seen a ghost. Okay.
I was just putting the stuff into the thing for
Our anniversary?
for anniversary, and I miswrote the amount.
Oh.
And I missed a whole bunch of it, and the teller had to be like, no, there's some more here.
Oh, well, at least the teller was nice.
I know.
Wow.
And I was just like,
A nice bank teller. That's
I said,
very
bless your
kind.
heart, thank
Yeah.
you so much. I said, you have no idea how much I needed this. Like, thank you. Also, my little brother offered to, he's like, I just responded to him now in the, I don't know, in text. Basically he mentioned like he could, I don't know. I'll tell you later, I guess. Something about him helping me with the plane ticket over to see my family. But it's like, number one, if he does that, they're probably gonna force me to go there 3 days. So then
Amber,
that's the problem.
I can handle 3 days.
Honey, you can hardly even handle 4 hours away from me.
You know what? It's not something I want the internet to know about, and I will do my best, okay?
Sorry.
It's important for you to spend time with your family. And I cannot financially support you this year doing that. I can't afford a plane ticket right now because of all the other stuff that's going on.
I would be very stressed out leaving the cats.
I'll be fine. The cats will be fine. Like, it's not like you'd be like that one time you were away a week. You know, I didn't have my medicine.
I don't even remember being away.
It was that I was having the stomach related stuff, and I was like throwing up blood. It was like that was like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. I managed.
Well,
No.
My family doesn't actually know the extent of your health problem.
Yeah, it's too many to count. That's why I'm disabled. Because I have brain-related stuff, I have remission from ulcers, I've got neuropathy. It's too much. That's why it's just easier to say just disabled. It's much easier, because there's so much.
I also told him,
Crap.
I responded to him, I said, I will keep what you said in mind, because I originally was like, oh, I wouldn't want to ask you to do that. And he's like, why not? You guys did it for me. And I was like, that's true.
It is true.
But I was saying,
I would accept his generosity because we're not in the ability to do that.
I mean,
Because the other plane ticket we paid for isn't going to be used. So.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be used. I mean,
I hope it is.
I don't know. It all depends if somebody can babysit my aunt.
Right, I know. I know the situation, honey.
I mean, my uncle could go in there and get her, but he doesn't feel like it.
Really wish that one agency could just, like, that nursing agency could just hire you, you know, for keeping me around, because you keep me out of the hospital and all this other stuff.
I did clip something from Pennsylvania. It says to take care of your family members. I don't know where I put that.
I don't know. But you were a legally trained medical assistant, so.
I know.
Yeah.
I thought about, there's a place not too far from here that's hiring for medical assisting. If I get this job at night, maybe I could go work as a medical assistant.
Baby, you're gonna have to build up endurance, because you haven't had an actual, like, on your feet demanding job in quite a while. You had that surgery and you had that thing removed that makes you tired. You can't push yourself too much because you also have high blood pressure. So you have to, if you're going to get more than one job, you have to ease yourself into seeing how you do with the first one. Because you could literally, like, work this kitchen job, and by the time you come home, you could basically collapse. From, like...
I don't think it will probably be faster.
It's a kitchen job. If it's that kitchen job and it's in that restaurant, it's going to be very fast-paced. I know you can do it, but to think that you... Because here's what, like, let me just explain this to you, because I know how well you, after your surgery, everything changed. I saw it. You were able to sit on the couch for hours streaming without any problem. After your surgery and that organ was removed, right? Sitting for like 3 hours, you would start to get sleepy, even if it was like after only a little bit, like, and you know, you were wide awake before. It's because, like, your body changed. You know, that thing was in there to help you maintain balance as a lady, It gave you energy. It gave you all this other stuff. It's important. It's important for women to have that, right? So when you come home from work at this new job, I'm just telling you that I believe that even if you were great and whatever, as soon as you get home, you are going to want to go to sleep, or like you might even be too tired to sit on the stream for 30 minutes, let alone an hour. Like you.
Okay, you made your point. You keep talking about it.
So, you know, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. It's just that's what I think is going to happen. But I think it's possible to build up an endurance getting used to doing that type of hard labor again. I think anybody can do it, and Ambi's a very hard worker, so... I've been talking about all kinds of good stuff. This stream's been going on quite a while. Talked about level 5, talked about activism, talked about Mario Kart. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you guys. It finally popped into my head. Do you think that Nintendo's actually going to have a Nintendo Direct this summer? Based on the fact that Summer Game Fest didn't show anything Nintendo related, really, outside of stuff that we already have for the Switch 2 launch, do you believe that Nintendo is actually going to do a Nintendo Direct? Like, either June or July. You think that's a possibility, or you think they're not going to hold a Nintendo Direct until the fall?
That's very kind of you, Raspberry. Well, the only problem with telling everyone that I have an interview is now, if I don't get the job, everyone will know that I failed. But hopefully I won't fail.
It's not a failure. You threw yourself out there.
You don't think it is a failure?
No, of course not.
Thanks, Titan Gamer.
Alright guys, here you go. There's your official poll. So, do you think Nintendo will have a Nintendo Direct this summer? June, July, August, not till fall. There you go. Oh.
What?
Latia's cute is
What?
saying we can't police somebody from watching the channel.
It's our job to do that. That's what moderators are for. People police people from watching their channel all the time. I don't understand how you don't have to explain every tiny concept to people. If they don't understand basic things, I don't know.
That's all I said.
I can't. That's way over there. You
Yeah,
don't
no.
need to say it on the screen.
I'm not saying it on the stream. Oh. How long have you been there? How long have you been there, Miss Zelda? Yeah, I had somebody yelling at me on Twitter about, like, I can't tell people not to watch our channel and police them. It's like, but the person in question is ban evaded, and we have actual receipts of them talking inappropriately with girls under the age of 18 when they were older than those girls. So, you know, the fact that Discord did disciplinary action against them and we did disciplinary action against them, and as far as we know, either they're still doing it or we don't know what's going on, because the problem is the person is a chameleon who keeps making new accounts and new personalities, and very, very spooky. You know, I can't stop somebody from making accounts, but if people know who this person is and they know, you know, their accounts, they should tell us who those accounts are so we can, you know, make sure the person can't keep coming back. Because it's dangerous for those girls, and it's also it's almost like our community is shielding someone who's...
Just think of it like Uncle Aaron in the Miles Morales game. When Uncle Aaron was in prison, Miles' mom says you can't talk to Uncle Aaron right now until things are better. And he's done his time, and that's exactly how it is. It doesn't matter how much you like somebody, if they've done a criminal act, they cannot be on the channel. It is our job to protect people. And you literally, our channel could get taken down if we don't ban them. So,
well, certain people could get a hold of that information and say the Kwings are harboring blah blah blah, and yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
So we have to be very open and say this person's not allowed.
There's no reason to keep talking about it because he's on other channels.
Yeah, I know.
He's openly on tons of other channels with his actual real name. He's on other YouTube channels. The only channel that he continues to be banned from is ours. He's on every other channel. So those channels need to be talking about him all the time and how they're harboring him. Because we're not.
Yeah, because he has access to their Discord, and who knows what he's doing over there. Exactly.
He's not on our channel.
Nope.
And
Ooh.
you know, so they can legally deal with it. They're deciding to keep him on their channel and not deal with it. We're dealing with it. He's not on our channel.
That's correct.
So I don't appreciate, you know, from now on, if people mention his name, I'm going to start timing people out. Because literally, it took me almost 40 minutes of wasted time having to delete all these comments about him so that this channel wasn't in jeopardy. And I'm not going to sit here and explain, you know, an answer to a question about somebody who's not even here. He's on every other channel on YouTube but ours. If you guys feel unsafe, then I don't know why you would, because this is the most safe channel on YouTube. He's literally lurking on every other channel. The only channel that continues to ban him is us, because we actually care. Yep. And in reality, it's like, I'll just say, it's like, just like O.J. Simpson, it's like, you get away with it one or two times, and eventually you're gonna get caught doing something else. So, you know, you think that you're gonna get away with, you know, doing something shady or messed up, and, you know, eventually the crimes are gonna get worse and worse. I'm just saying. You know, this is a kind of person that has been warned hundreds of times to stop, and every time they are told to stop, they respond like, what's the matter? I didn't do anything wrong. I just like this kind of girl. So that is messed up, and they're gonna end up in prison in their life. They're gonna end up spending their whole, I'm calling it now, they are going to end up in prison for the rest of their life, because they have this chance to stop for their life, and they are literally on the road. What does Yoda say? For when you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny, and that is what they are going to do. So if you guys talk about the person's, and honestly, if you know, if people ask me to unban them, or you know, like say that they're talking to them, you know, I'm thinking about banning people that are talking to this person, because why are you talking to this person? please don't mention their name again. It's getting super annoying to keep talking about them.
Yeah, so that's why we don't talk about it, but I'm not saying that people are saying that I'm saying people aren't allowed to watch our channel. It's a ban evader that we're discussing. That's all people need to know.
Yeah. And by the way, he's on every other channel out there. I'm just saying. So, he's all over.
Yep. I have a Zelda in my lap. Why can't you be this calm and stuff more often, Cat? See, this is the kind of stuff that I like. This is you being being a good girl. Mostly. I think I'm gonna have to do this again. Man, this 150 cc's, man. Get him, get him, get him! Yes! Yes! Victory is mine! I have a cat on my lap. Did we play Lego Batman 1? Of course we did. Hi, Naomi. Amber's a little mad. I'm dealing with a ban evader, Trayvon. Yep. Zelda's in my lap. She's sleeping peacefully. The problem is, in the summertime, you don't want a cat in your lap, because a cat is very warm. I don't like heat, right? I like cold. So Zelda is like really hot, because she's got fur and stuff. So it's like, in the wintertime, it's nice to have a little furry hot water bottle on you. It's very calming. In the summertime, it's very uncomfortable. She's happy, she's purring, but I don't like the additional heat on my stomach. It makes me kind of a little nauseous, because I get nauseous when it gets too hot. I don't like it. I guess I'm like Mr. Freeze. It has to be a certain temperature all the time for me to be comfortable. Yeah, really. Well, the place near you, Amber, is cheaper. You can always tell them that. Philly would be way more expensive to fly out of Philly. No. Yeah, that's great, Amber. My wife is just talking to me. That's a cool stage. I don't know, guys. I'm seeing all these people say that, oh, jeez, stupid ghost. Seeing all these people saying that Mario Kart World is the best Mario Kart ever, and I don't believe that. I think it's a good Mario Kart, but I don't think it's the best. I think it's pretty good, though. The fact that this guy is faster than me is insane. Come on, come on, come on, come on, get him! I can't get him! I can't get him! Can't get any of these guys! I lost again! How'd I lose again? How'd I lose again? Gotta do it again. I lost again. Which Mario Kart is my favorite? I like Double Dash, personally. Well, I won overall, but that was intense. I won overall, that's good enough.
Why are you like this? You were just
You're planning on moving to New York or Chicago? Well, just so you know, New York and Chicago are very expensive, Trayvon. If you're moving to New York City, I would recommend you live in New Jersey, because it'd be cheaper. And you can commute. I would even, like, recommend you live in Pennsylvania and commute to New York City. There's a couple places in Bethlehem, which is like an hour from New York City, and there's a few other towns because like New Jersey is closer to New York City. It's gonna be pretty expensive. Pennsylvania would be your next best option because like you can commute, you could ride a train, you could, you know, whatever, and you know, living in Pennsylvania would be much cheaper than living in New York City, which, like, geez, like a studio apartment in New York City, just one room with a bathroom and a kitchen is going to cost you like $2,300 a month. Just that. If you're doing a one-bedroom apartment, it'll be $3,000.
But you forget, Trayvon is a very hard worker.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just giving him heads up. Whereas if you lived in Pennsylvania and you commuted to New York, you could get a studio apartment for like $600. Like in Bethlehem or something like that, for a studio apartment. 2 bedrooms a little bit more expensive. It can be like $1,200 or $1,300. But like a studio is like $600-$700, like depending
some people like
where you
the
are.
thrill of living in New York City.
Yeah.
Also, like, if you live in Chicago, like, or New York City, Trayvon, go to the. Well, you probably know this, but. You know, don't make sure you find a safe area of Chicago.
If you're going to live in Chicago or you're going to work in Chicago, I would recommend living in either Highland Park or Rockford, Illinois. Like the rent in Rockford is very cheap. I almost rented in Rockford when I worked in Chicago. I lived somewhere further away when I drove into Chicago.
There are some nice like areas. Around Chicago. It's just some areas in Chicago are really, even in Amish country, things are getting hardcore around here with violent crime and stuff, which I am surprised at. Like, everything is getting violent everywhere.
Yep.
Like, we hear the sirens going off. Also, I have delivered in some very bad neighborhoods in Pennsylvania. I am very surprised.
It's okay.
I'm just saying.
Alright, guys and gals. Hi, Arkham. Yep. So that is going to do it for your Mario Kart stream today. It was a 3-hour stream. That's my bad. We got 1,000 views, though, so everything else is accomplished that we needed to do. So that's fantastic.
Thanks for the kind words and trying to cheer me up, Titan Gamer and Raspberry and everyone. Hello, Naomi. Hi, Trayvon. Hi, everybody.
Yep.
So,
today was the, whatchamacallit? Today was the Leaf Cup. Tomorrow will be Lightning. And then I guess we'll start to do some free roaming. We're also going to play more with you guys. Today is a special Fortnite stream that is happening in just a little bit. You're welcome, Trayvon. Happy to offer advice. I live, you know, I have friends and stuff who work in New York City, and I know a lot of them that commute. Like, they either live, like, there are some nice places in New York, Like, you know, Peekskill, Fishkill, things like that. Poughkeepsie, where you could get, like, cheaper rent, but it's still New York, so you're going to end up paying, like, even for a studio apartment outside of the city, it's $1,000 a month. The further you get away from New York while still being able to commute, you know, being two states separated and living, like, on the border of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, the rent would be cheaper. I don't know about the situation between Wisconsin and Chicago, though, because, like, you know, Illinois is a very big state, and I know a lot of people, when I was in college, community college, that used to work in Chicago, and they lived in Rockford, and they lived in other places near Chicago. But they didn't actually live in Chicago to work in Chicago, because it's too expensive, even back, you know, 20-something years ago. So, you know, location's very important, and, you know, wherever you can find work as well as find a place to live, that's always best. But it's always good, like, there's a lot of people on the outskirts of Pennsylvania that actually commute to New York City. Like, my wife's aunt and uncle, essentially my aunt and uncle, they also commute to, well, they used to commute to New York City. Some of them still do. And they've been doing that for like 30-plus years, and they live in Pennsylvania because they know it's cheaper in Pennsylvania. But they love working in New York. They love New York City. It's just, you know, they know that it's cheaper in Pennsylvania to commute. You know, you save more money in the long run. You're able to find a nice place to live, nice community. And then you just work in the city. There you go. There's always ways to live in, like, to be a part of big city culture, but not actually have to live in the city itself. And that way you save money. Because I will tell you, like, for all these people that are interested in living in New York City has a lot of appeal to live in it. It's very fancy. It's, you know, it's New York. It's a lot of energy, but it'll drain your bank account. So you got to be smart about if you're going to work there. So, you know, a lot of people, it's no shame to commute from, like, you know, the outskirts of Pennsylvania or even parts of New Jersey. You know, I know people in Jersey who commute to New York too. So it's very common. A lot of people that work in New York City restaurants and they're vendors, like hot dog people and things like that. They live, my cousin who, like, he lives in Jersey, and he has a business in New York or something like that, right on the outskirts of Jersey and whatever. And my cousins who are EMTs, like, they're emergency response people, you know, that run ambulances and work with the fire department and FDNY. They live in New Jersey. They've been in New Jersey for 20 years, but they work in New York City. So, very common. But anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Next up is going to be Fortnite. Probably be a little bit of, you know, belly aching because not a fan of Tim Drake anymore. So I'll be playing the Nintendo Switch 2 version of the thing. Yeah. New York City is very expensive and very noisy. Yup. And that's a resident of New Jersey right there telling you the facts. EMTs, yep. EMTs are emergency medical technicians, I believe is the term. They're the people who will work with fire departments and the police, and they're first responders. They're basically like ambulance people, but also they do, you know, they work with other agencies. So that I have several cousins who, after 9/11, they became EMTs. So I got people in my family who are FDNY, NYPD, EMTs. You know, I'm the black sheep of my family because, like, I'm a YouTuber. I'm in entertainment. Everyone else is a police officer, medical technician, military personnel, food people, restaurateurs, or whatever they call it. I am a YouTuber, and, like, yeah, that's it. So I don't really talk about myself very much at family reunions, you know? I just let them talk. They love to talk, so let them talk. They love to talk. And they love to offer health advice, too. During my grandmother's wake, like, a lot of people were talking to Amber about her medical stuff, and just, like, not being nosy, but being concerned, and giving examples of people they knew that aren't around anymore because they didn't take the right precautions. So that was a fun conversation. Right at my grandmother's wake, they're, you know, scaring my wife, so that was great. But Amber appreciated them caring about her. Kwing is good for mental health. I don't know about that. Kwing just knows a lot about the world because I've been around a long time. I've been around a long time. Maybe I'm stuck in a time loop and I'm not aware of it. I don't know. But anyway, tune in next time for more Mario Kart. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on Fortnite. Things are going to get weird over there, just so you know. Hopefully. I don't know. Something about me and guns tend to get weird. Weird conversations, weird stuff. I'll do my best. But I'm excited to play Fortnite with you guys for the first time on Switch 2, so that should be interesting. Guess we'll get to experience how the graphics look and things like that. I don't know. Restaurateur. I don't know the term. The guy owns a restaurant. Works at a restaurant. He's a chef. Restaurant manager chef. I don't know what it's called. He almost became a food critic, but he became a cook instead. Anyway, see you guys. God bless, happy gaming. See you in a bit. Yeah. Oh.